For a long time, I was doing drinking draws at religiously at a channel down there.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. I considered that being a place, but they're not open.
I saw Dustin in there. I thought I'd check the hours and maybe swing by afterwards just to say hey, because I bump into him every now and then.
Okay.
I don't have a whole lot of time to commit to. Yeah. I mean, figure drawing is so important, but I just don't have that commitment of time to be able to okay, cool. I think it's Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and it's great. I mean, especially now it's grown. It's sponsored by a brewery and a bakery, and it's pretty great. But I'm just making excuses. I just need to do it. I say I don't make the time, but I don't know to be in town, and it's like, oh yeah, that's because I'm not doing the things where.
Well, I'm turning into the old guy where I'm starting to get me out of the house after Tracy gets home.
Yeah.
First, she works a day job, and I'm at home all day, or if I'm doing things during the day like this, but yeah, at night I just don't want to get out.
No.
I like to relax, have a drink, and.
Well, that's why I built out the studio like I have. Because I'm like, hey, you guys want to come over here? We'll have drinks. I've got plenty of beer and booze and stuff like that. I got the projector. We'll hang out here and do art. I was hosting drinking draws at the studio for a while, but
were you?
But then it fell off. As things
everything do. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done any, I guess, real collaborations or things like that other than For Artists Tennessee. We still show together, but we haven't really met and just talked about art in a long time. Same with the Collage Collective. Robert's one of the founders of the National Collage Collective, and me, Lisa Haddad, and Eva, and we ran our course in a couple of years. We actually collaborated on artwork, so we would create a piece and pass it on, and somebody else would work on it.
I love that though, exquisite corpse kind of stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
I love it. That's what I'm saying. You and I think it'd be really neat because if we're talking about subject matter, if say you said, okay, here are these, you either created some collage of signs or imagery, or like, okay, this is the imagery that you would normally do. I'm like, cool, this is the imagery I would normally do. How do you go bonkers on it?
Yeah. What's your interpretation or
that's what's more fun to me.
What influences you?
Genesis of ideas is always mixed bag. But I love collaborating with people. I love when that gets taken out of the equation. I'm like, oh cool, I'm going to do this thing. I don't have to think about all the other variables. It's like, I'm going to do this. How do I want to do it? Kind of the conversation that we want to, or at least that I said, I want to perpetuate it.
Yeah.
Why are we doing it? Why did we make that choice? What drew us to that? And why did we not poop out on it? Or why did we? We're like, nah, this was not as cool as I thought it was going to be.
Or and sometimes you do a piece that leads to a series. Sometimes you do one and you're like, okay, I'm moving on. And do you ever do the same piece twice? I mean,
only at the same time. So I've done some of those lately where I will do those more complicated ink wash drawings and acrylic, and then do with the intention of also doing an oil painting, either that as a preliminary or to see the difference. I posted a couple of those recently, and I ended up, for one of the subject matters, for the alien character for a role-playing game, I loved both of them. There was the gem guy, Grivon, I don't know if you saw that, yeah. So it was a whole different approaches to it, but each one kind of informed
each. I noticed it was the same head shot, but different technique or look.
And I like that, and sometimes I will do it in that same instance, just so, because if I'm unresolved, like, I don't know, I really want to do this way, I want to do it this way too. But oddly enough, the second a companion character for that role-playing module, I did the ink drawing, which I posted the other day too. The Sula, big crazy hair, or not hair, but protrusions and stuff like that. And I loved the ink drawing. I was like, oh heck yeah! I started the oil painting yesterday, and if it had not rained, it would have been burned last night because I was just like,
you was done.
Nope. I think it was like, nope. I got what I wanted out of the ink drawing. I loved the emotion. I loved the feel. But I also don't mind frequently.
Sometimes that's a problem. Is if you like the way something's working. And you feel like, well, maybe I do this, and then all of a sudden your expectation changes, and you can't meet up to what you did haphazardly. What you did from feeling. Now you've put too much thought into it. When you revisit it, you're not going into it as loose.
Yeah.
You're too many restrictions on yourself because you expect something now.
Well, that's it. I think it's a very good way of putting it, and you hadn't even seen it, but if you saw it, you would reiterate that because it was, oh, I want to capture that feeling. Oh, I really love where this went. Now I'm going to do it with oil paints on this thing, and you can. And it's not even that dissimilar from the previous one that I did 2 days before. But I was just painting like, I don't know what I'm chasing here, but this is not that thing.
That's funny. So I've repeated some subjects, bees for instance, because those are always popular because of the beeswax tie. So I've done the bee wing. I don't know how many times. I haven't counted. I've done the little bees. I've never done a larger painting twice.
Okay. Oh, sure. No, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's small stuff.
It's different. Yeah, when you're only going to invest, 4 to 6 hours in something. But if you're going to invest a week and you've already done it once, it's like, what's the motivation? Mm-hmm. Sometimes I want to see what would happen if I changed the color theme a little bit on a subject. Or maybe I was a little looser with details in certain areas and focused real heavily on details in others. Little things like that I've thought about going back to. And plus, over the years, my process and my materials have changed a little bit. Where I used to paint on birch plywood I'd buy at Lowe's. It was a little darker. And then I would always either paint the background or what did show through had a lot more wood grain in it. Mm-hmm. So when I started buying the birch panels that were almost pristine, they're just a birch color. There's no grain showing hardly. That changed the look of my paintings, and plus over the time I've got technically better at cutting out the shapes and noticing what works, what doesn't, getting my different values right.
Yeah.
So, I want to go back to some of the ones I did that I loved early on, recreate those in materials and techniques I'm using now, and see what how it translates.
I think that's a worthy goal. And not that I can sit in judgment on it, but I typically have a real issue with artists that just keep cranking out the same thing.
Yeah.
They do it pretty much the same way.
And it would be, I guess, more of the biggest reason I would do it is just to learn from it.
Sure.
Not really take it as a direction, but to see the difference. And so, do I go back to doing some of this from back in the past, and then the subject matter changes because it's more about the technique and the color options, the details, the focus of the painting.
You're making different choices than you made, which is valuable too, because even if it's the same subject matter. And by that I mean, so we just went to the gallery, Julia Martin Gallery, and saw two main artists here, but Wayne White was really drawn to. Well, I wasn't familiar with him, you met him. Yeah, but the different ways he approached the subject matter was phenomenal. It was really cool. And even if he did, and he had a couple of, I think a couple of repeat characters maybe. I can't remember the full scope of it, but it
was all old country scene. Yeah. Hank Williams was repeated a few times.
Yeah, but it's a whole different feel, whole different technique, whole different presentation of the figure. So he could do a series of Johnny Cash, and although, as we were saying, that's kind of a trite popular thing here, and he's an iconic figure.
Yes,
it's very striking physiology. I mean, it's just really cool stuff. I've done a Johnny Cash painting for a Johnny Cash show, so I fall into that game. But what you're getting out of it each time, if it's just I'm going to paint a Johnny Cash because Johnny Cash sells, because I got to make that Johnny Cash.
That's different.
People can do whatever they want. This is my opinion, as always, and it's frequently wrong.
They have their own reasons.
But that fan art cash grab drives me crazy, especially when you pair it next to someone like Wayne White, seeing his work today for the first time, going like, this is whimsical. This is this. I mean, it goes from whimsy to carefully thought out line work to application of paint. It presented the figure with different emotions across a range of things, and not to say that he would not have already represented some of the middle finger or some of the silhouettes that very easily Googleable images.
Yeah, he did the just normal scenes of somebody on stage, where it's almost like he did candid shots of these.
Yeah, like the Tammy Wynette at home.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's genius, and it felt casual, but still he was. That discussion I keep bringing up ad nauseum why people did what they did, why they chose that. It's like, what were you drawn to? This picture of Tammy Wynette on a couch, looks like in a sunroom or something like that. What drew that artist there? So the same thing, like if you did a bunch of Johnny Cash's, again, may have the same motivation. So this is the technique I use, and I'm going to sell a bunch of Johnny Cash's.
It's true.
It's true. You know the motivation,
right.
But you see so much more in some real heartfelt work. Something they were drawn again to the silhouette. They were drawn to some colors. They didn't just supplement.
Or,
put some cool shadows in this.
Yeah, or somebody like Hank has those strong features.
Yeah. What were you drawn to, and did you do anything with it? Because if you just did, you do your obligatory one, you're like, okay, I did that thing. Because I'm doing this musician series too. I'm trying to find new stuff.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly conscious of my motivation.
Yeah.
Because I love music. I'm really so engaged in all of it, and I want to honor the musicians.
Such a big part, yeah.
I don't even know if I'm even going to sell any of them. I say that, but I'm what I am. But I want to make them out of love and share them out of love to people who love the thing, and I don't want it to be just that Google image. Like I'm looking through videos or concert footage and trying to find that like.
Yeah, I don't want somebody to see one of my paintings and go, oh yeah, my friend's got one of Johnny Cash doing that same thing.
Exactly. I did that early on.
Well, y'all, that's why you learn, right?
Yeah. And I was just mortified. Like, I found this super awesome shot. You're like, of course you did.
Yeah, everybody's done that.
Yeah, someone took that shot.
But after a while, you kind of go away from that because you want to stand out as your own. Now when I do iconic or musicians, performers, I try to make it of ones that are the musicians I've seen myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So even if it's a crappy image, like I did one of Gary Allen. Seen him several times with Ryan, and this was back before the cell phones had great cameras on them. I took a photo, and that's what I used as a reference for this last painting, and I think it's pretty cool. It's got a lot of energy in it. It's really off kilter. He's barely in the frame.
No, that's cool. So you're recording the moment rather than just.
It's exactly that. You pull your phone out, and you're like, oh my god, this is fun. Click, or click, 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 click.
That moment, yeah.
So I've done, I think, 3 performers now, and I kind of like it. I go back and forth with subject matter from architecture, neon signs, and again, it's hard as an artist not to try to follow that path that hey, these neon signs are going to sell, and
guide your.
But it subconsciously, I know that's what's going on, but I also love how these old neon signs have this cool nostalgia about them. They work so well with my media. The patina of the beeswax in the background ties into these old iconic neon signs.
That's how body work develops, though. Again, it's that whether we can truly understand it or should or need to. Me, that constant question of motivation, self-motivation, and seeing that motivation in other people lends more to the work. And even if you repeat the same subject matter, or you're drawn to certain things, that's what you're going to build your body of work on. Because you got to. I fought that forever. Like, I've got to paint this. I've got to paint these dragons and the illustration. I got to do these things. And that's what people expect. That's what they want. And if I don't have those things, they're going to keep walking. They're not going to take a second look at the things I love. And that's a lack of confidence.
Right.
I still suffer from a lot of that, but now I'm like, I know I believe in the work I'm doing. It's taken years and years and years, but I believe in the work I'm doing. I believe in how I'm doing it. I believe that although sometimes it is for, I got to sell this to do something like that, I'm still trying to approach every single piece with what I consider, for me, a proper motivation, a proper moral compass that's like, I'm doing this because I am drawn to it.
Well, you want to look back, say 6 months from now, and the pieces of the paintings you're doing now, you want to look back and say, I'm glad I did that.
Exactly.
You don't want to look back and say, God, I wish I hadn't done that. So what do I do with these now? Because I'm not proud of them.
Exactly.
Because you can clearly see I did these because I thought they'd be popular.
I did that thing.
I do it every year. There's always a small group of paintings I do where I lose focus, and I do them just because I know they're going to be either faster to do, easy to do, or maybe it's going to fit this audience that I really shouldn't care about.
Yeah, no, I mean it's accurate because it's that lack of confidence because you chase the things. When you start chasing something, sometimes you have to. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak on them.
That's the great thing about art. There's always something about it to talk about. There's always different paths you could have took that would have been better or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a constant and evolving thing. It's a living subject that we try to manipulate, and we think we figure it out. Then the rules change. Whether it be the market or the audience or something that happened in our lives.
Well, that's what frequently, that's normally it's the circumstances for me where I'll be like, no, I'm in a good place. I'm taking chances. I'm taking risks. I'm creating the work pivotal, groundbreaking work that even though I will outgrow, I still look back and go like, oh man, that piece was key. But it normally comes from a place of like, oh yeah, I've got a good gig. Oh, I'm not great. Oh, that's awesome. Or oh, I got these commissions lined up, which are few and far between. But you get that thing, and you feel. If I feel comfortable in my life, I tend to take risks in my work. True. When I am uncomfortable in my life, I tend to make more comfortable decisions in the art because I'm looking to it for security. I haven't thought about it till now, but I could chart my financial security all the way down. And I go, oh man.
It is funny when I'm preparing for whatever show coming up, if I feel like I'm dependent on a certain number of sales, my focus is different than when I go into a show thinking, I don't give a shit if I sell anything. Mm-hmm. This is what I want to create.
It's what I want to show and share.
Yeah. I don't want to look back on like this show last year and say, man, I got all this work and didn't sell because I wasn't true to it. I did it because I thought it would sell, and of course you're always wrong.
Oh, that is the worst.
You're always wrong.
The worst feeling. That feeling of I sold out, and then you don't sell out. You're like, oh man, exactly. What am I going to do with this? Why did I do it? Yeah. And I do it again. I can't.
Yeah, you got this artwork, and you don't want to discount it or give it away. But you also don't want to hang on to it.
Oh, I almost always give it away. I do the free art drops.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I'll give away paintings that I was, before would have been part of a series that would sell $300 to $500 because I'll be like, I don't want to look at this.
Yes,
it's still generally pretty good. Yeah, but I don't want to. I don't want to remind
it. It's not what you want.
Or I'll have friends that'll be like, oh wow, this is amazing. Be like, oh really, you love it? I forgot I had it. By all means, buddy. I want you to know how much I care about you, and they know.
There are times,
I'll have to be like, oh, by the way.
there are people that I know that love certain things about my work or certain